Hi, I'm Mike Livermore, and I'm a law professor at the University of Virginia. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone in person at the ICA for meeting in Paris. And I'll just speak briefly about my work at the intersection of law and artificial intelligence to give a little sense of some of my relevant scholarship. So Leibniz famously proposed that legal reasoning could be modeled as a set of formal rules that could be algorithmically manipulated, akin to a system of symbolic logic or mathematics. The idea was that if you could do this, then legal disputes could be resolved through something like calculation in a process that was no more theoretically interesting or normatively important than long division. So this was Leibniz's idea, of course, several centuries ago. But today there is an active research program in artificial intelligence and law that's based on this kind of that's a kind of intellectual descendant of Leibniz's dream of a fully algorithmic law. I have some reasons to be skeptical of this approach. And I've been working with a group of other scholars in law, computer science, data analytics, and related disciplines that treats law as data. So the way we understand law is less as this kind of formal set of rules and more as the product of a social practice, which is carried out via natural language, which is instantiated in natural language. And our idea is to use flexible tools in machine learning, AI, and related, natural language processing, and those types of tools to understand the law and legal institutions. So the law has its own social force, but is also the product of social forces. And so we want to understand the causes and consequences of the law. It's kind of an empirical understanding of the law rather than thinking of the law as an abstract, self-contained system like mathematics. So in this slide, in the lower left-hand box, there's a figure from a joint project that I've been working on for several years that models the process of law search. So the idea here is that one of the characteristic features of legal reasoning is that it's based on a set of authoritative documents, which supply the norms to be used in evaluating conduct. Okay, so that's different from just general all-purpose ethical reasoning, where you're going to use community standards, or you're going to use some moral system, utilitarianism, some deontological system. You could use religious texts to evaluate conduct. But what makes the law unique or different is the documents that you're using, or that's at least one of the things that makes legal reasoning distinctive. And so the process of actually finding the relevant documents is bound up very closely with the process of legal reasoning. And so with researchers in law, computer science, system engineering, other fields, this team has been working together to construct a formal model of law search over the corpus of legal documents. And then what we do actually, ultimately, we construct the model, we actually apply it to data using judicial decisions in the United States, and we construct a prototype search algorithm. And what this little figure shows is that the algorithm is actually starting to perform at a kind of near human level in terms of identifying relevant legal documents. So moving forward, I'm interested in continuing to explore the potential to model legal justification as a social practice using AI tools. So we can imagine, constructing a language model that's capable of producing stylized legal texts. And there's actually researchers that have produced work in that direction. You can imagine tools that could be constructed that enable human legal actors to interact with search or text generation algorithms to build or evaluate legal arguments or to evaluate legally relevant conduct. And so this is all kind of on the horizon. Pushing further, I'm interested in parallels more broadly between the reason-giving practices of courts and other governmental institutions, and attempts to construct what are sometimes referred to as explainable AI systems. I think there are some interesting underexplored complexities in this idea of reason giving and explainability in AI that have some analogies to law. Finally, and more broadly, I would like to explore the shared features of legal and moral evaluation and the relationship of evaluation to behavioral constraint. And in particular, I'm interested in this in the context of the control problem and AI alignment. This is, if one's worried about AI systems that are not welfare enhancing for human beings or that get out of control, what can law, moral reasoning, normative reasoning tell us about how the control problem could be addressed? So that's a little snippet on some of my research that's relevant to the themes of the ICA4, and I look forward to meeting everyone in person.